What's good, YouTube and Twitch? I am joined by the Space Lolly on commentary.
What's good, Cowboys?
And we've got Acepcion versus the stream's top supporter, St. Matix, both 4-0 right now in the tournament. Definitely one to look forward to. We actually saw Ethan beat one of our previous top 8ers in a previous round in a Savage 2-0.
Goodness.
So we see Acepcion winning the dice roll, the RPS here, with a solid rock. What does that tell you when a man picks rock, Lolly?
Means they're means they didn't really think about it. All right, I'm actually really curious to see what they're playing.
Ed's starting himself first, so it's unlikely that it's a passive strategy like Psyframes.
Mm-hmm.
Pendulum, maybe?
I bet it's Infernoid.
Oh, man. You still go first with Infernoid? There's so many... I feel like the only deck trying to go first is typically Pendulum. Like, I see everything else trying to go second. Like,
really? Even
well,
Cosmo?
Cosmo goes first. Fire Island Cosmo goes first, yeah. Summoners are...
I guess it's the Qli deck. Or another. Yeah. So there's not really much to talk about with the Qli deck, which I guess makes my job easy.
Pay 8, feel great.
Yeah, basically.
Don't search cards that aren't Clifford cards when you pay 800.
Yeah, since he didn't search, he definitely has Card Demise as like his last card. And that's only because in not searching, it means that if he draws a monster, he doesn't search a monster, he searches Sacrifice, because if you have too many monsters in your hand, then like Card Demise obviously becomes significantly more shitty, which is why the Qliphort strategy is really good, because any extra monster you can just put in the scale. So yeah, so he gets Helix, meaning either he didn't draw another monster, or yeah, I guess he just didn't draw another creature.
Yeah, he gets to keep all this stuff.
Mm-hmm. Well, getting Helix is another indicator that he could have drawn a creature, because then he could just play the one scale on the other side in case he did. So it's very apparent that he just... The interesting part about the Qliphort deck, too, is because it plays such a high volume of trash, it also plays a high volume of spells, so you never know if the sets are, like, real or not. But if they are real, like, they're really, like, devastating, and that's, like, the best part of the deck.
Yeah, you still have from the horror of the old days, you still have one skill drain, one emptiness. Like, not the 3 that it used to be, but definitely, you know, it can choke somebody out really bad. Right,
and this deck is able to see these cards like quicker and a little more consistently, simply because they have a card that says like draw 3 cards. So that obviously digs them like deeper into their deck, and because of that, it makes the deck wildly more consistent. And even though like the strategy, we only have like one scout, we only have like the Qliphort strategy as like a deck it's infallibly bad. But having a card that allows you to generate too many traps for your opponent to really play against is yeah, it makes the deck a definite contender, at least as a rogue deck.
So Skullcrobat was fine, so it feels like there wouldn't be a skill drain down among these. Now,
I'm like 100%. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I know a lot of them play MST over Twin Twisters, so as to, because like you're losing your hand with Demise and you don't want to lose the free advantage you're gaining anyways. So it's there's no MST on this monkey either. So what could these sets realistically be?
So I don't know if they play MST in the main board, but I definitely believe that one of the sets is Rivalry of the Warlords, like for sure. And then the rest of them are either other Floodgates, I guess, or he could play Loser Turn, but I know a lot of people don't play those. Could be Solemn Strikes or Chaos Trap Holes or other like summon stoppers, but he let the Skullcrobat go through, which makes me believe that it's not Strike or Warning or Chaos Trap Hole, meaning that I'm almost 100% sure one of them is Rivalry, but then you have like 4 others,
So he uses the bait words. You're just gonna attack over. That's fine. But oh, there's an Ariande here too. So it's gonna like, I don't know. You don't really get much use out of any of your counter traps besides Warning against Cliffords, huh?
Yeah, not particularly. So he doesn't have Warning because he would have used it here. I'm not sure about Rivalry anymore because probably would have used it here. Probably actually just would have used it after he played the scales, but
I'm reading some kind of a mirror force card at least among these now because like everything's been fine.
Oh, I guess he could have. Oh no, but that wouldn't make sense either. So I was thinking maybe he could have soul transition, but he would have used it when he activates the monkey board.
Yeah.
I
thought of it, that crossed my mind too, and like, there's the
rivalry. So there it is. Okay. Wow. Okay. Well, flipping rivalry here was actually really risky, but if he didn't pop the Ariadne with Sorcerer, it makes the rivalry a lot stronger than it would have been if he flipped it in response to playing the Silver Claw. So this puts, he's pretty much forced, and he popped the Silver Claw, which I think was some table talk here. That's really cool because he said, so you're just going to attack over it, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if he would have popped Silver Claw otherwise, but that's like total conjecture. Having said that, he's locked into picking Spellcaster, and now he has to.
Rivalry actually sends them to the graveyard here, right? Because it says send all other face-up monsters they control to the graveyard, not destroy.
Yeah, but they still go to the extra deck.
They still go to the extra.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. He's kind of forced to pick. He could pick Dragon too. But it really is hand dependent, and it seems like he has more Perform Palace in his hand. So, yeah, okay, he could pick. Okay, so he picks this one, I guess, which is more damage technically, because he could just ram Crobat and then swing in for 15. Yeah, I forgot what he searched already off the. I hope it was Turtle Lizard, but. I'm pretty sure he just would have played it already, or at least he should have played it already.
Yeah, now there would be like extra use against Turtle. Oh, so the Ram is good here.
Mm-hmm.
So now he's kind of on the clock to draw a monster.
He has Clifford Scout.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I think he's good on that.
I thought about that. I was just kidding. I'm so not used to Scout. It's been so long.
Yeah.
Now, if you do draw a spell and trap destruction that's a one-of destroyer on St. Matix's side, since Pendulum typically doesn't play MSC, let's say an Eccentric, you take care of the Scout and not the Floodgate, obviously.
That's really debatable, only because if you take care of the Floodgate, then you could play and create monster outs to Scout. Whereas if you out the Scout, you're put under pressure of the creatures in this deck kind of suck. But the good thing about them is that they're really big. So
even with 4 other back row though, you would perhaps choose the Floodgate.
I would definitely try to. This doesn't like. This seemed like a very bad matchup in
Stormfort.
Yeah, in favor of the matchup is obviously favored towards Qliphort going first. So, St. Matix just got very unlucky in losing the rock paper scissors, I guess. So this thing is level 6, 24, which is pretty big considering he's under rivalry. However, the cool part about Pendulum is that they can kind of play around rivalry with dragons. But then you have 4 other back row to deal with.
Yeah, and he can also get attack boosting things. Like if he has a sorcerer here, he can just Pendulum out Joker and a P28.
Yeah, that's another out too. So he plays Unexpected Guy. So it looks like he's sticking to dragons for sure. Which is
Unexpected Guy too.
Isn't that like its original text?
I have no clue.
Something like that.
Well, that's the warrior on there is Greffer.
Yeah, this is something I didn't think about, but he could just have Vanity's Emptiness. And he could have just been slow rolling it, or he could have just drawn it for turn, which would have been really nice for him. But I think he's debating chaining Emptiness to this. He could have Warning too, but he would have used it last turn. These are all cards he could have drawn because I feel like these cards that I'm mentioning, Vanity's Emptiness, Solemn Warning. Yeah, he plays Emptiness. That was a card he drew, right?
I don't think so because it's in the middle, and I don't think he... Oh, he did activate Stormforth in the middle, so yes, he did draw it.
Okay. Well, let's say you didn't draw it, so you're slow rolling emptiness, which I guess kind of makes sense because you wanted St. Maddox to play more cards.
Oh, he's going to be able to pop the scout here.
Yeah, which is another cool thing that the Pendulum deck can do, which is why I think St. Maddox just got really unlucky going second, because the Pendulum deck going first is actually just favorable against everything. So, especially this kind of deck, and of course he's forced to set. However,
I'm surprised he set in
emptiness.
Like I guess he can't take many more of the 2400 hits, and his resources go to the extra in case he finds a way to deal with this emptiness. Now an MST would be huge because he can pop the rivalry, pop the emptiness, and if he draws eccentric, it's so many resources because he would have to use master, pop his scale, play eccentric, pop the thing. So like MST, if he plays it, is his only real like chance at living.
So I'm not 100% sure if I'd pop the rivalry anymore, only because he has enough dragons in his extra. Like he has 23 cards in his extra deck, meaning that he probably just has enough resources to summon a bunch of dudes, make a Dino Stir, and then I think the rank 8 is like what? It's a dragon as well. So now you're just going in for big damage. I can kind of see why he didn't flip emptiness on the first push, and that's only because the Helix was 1800 attack, and he would have to break it to Stormforth over the field. Because all he would have to do, I guess that's why I said, so you're just going to attack over it, right? It wasn't even just like specifically table talk. He can see it here, obviously, but it's because he had emptiness set, so he flips emptiness when he plays the scales, because Joker's at 21, so he would just attack over it, and every creature he'd play would be attacked over by Joker, so he'd have to play Stormforth, meaning that this guy still has a bunch of cards loaded in his hand. So the right play actually was to hold emptiness here, so Ed played that pretty well.
Yeah, but he still drew it, I believe.
Oh, did he? Okay, well
because
then
he activated Stormforth from the middle, so I think you're right that it was not a slow roll.
Right.
I think.
Let's see. Sup, Wally. Shout out to Space. Absolutely. Ask Wally. Ask Alex if Nationals was this weekend, what would he play? I mentioned this earlier in the stream when I was taking a shit. It would definitely be the extra deck Monarch. Easily. Sorry, I like read chat, but it's really good that you have the chat on YouTube because a lot of people will just know what I'm talking about if I just start babbling.
Yeah, I enjoy having the chat on YouTube too. I think it's a very important part of the show, and like it gives people a reason to be here while we live stream it also, because like they get to be on there and their conversation gets to be on there and people can read it, and it's also something else to actually read during the duel, because duels sometimes take a long time to make their turns, etc.
Yeah, they have to think about it for sure. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is definitely a thought-based game, which is why I like it much more than, say, any game that gives you a time constraint. Yeah, St. Maddox, even in the chat, is just like, if only I went first. And I agree. Like, if he went first, despite Ed having a very, very powerful hand, it just, I don't know. He opens Stormforth, though, so I guess, like, fine. Even if he went second. But...
Here's Abductor, and it's going to get more counters here.
Yeah, I think Abductor in the Pendulum Zone. Definitely, she definitely just has one of the best Pendulum effects. Obviously being overshadowed by those like Qliphort Scout, which is, I think, the best Pendulum monster in the game. And then you have like Luster Pendulum.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, Abductor's Pendulum effect is really, really powerful as well. So let's see where this goes.
Yeah, it still seems pretty weak here, because like he either has to it looks like he's gonna pop his own master, which is where I thought he might have to go with this. He has to like burn it itself. He has to have a high scale here. He has to search for something that really matters to make this turn one really strong.
Probably Joker, right?
yeah, I would figure.
It could be.
Oh, okay. So, this might be a lot stronger than I thought then.
Yeah. So he searches. He definitely searches.
Unless he does, yeah, he searches Joker, but like
there are two monsters he can search. It's like Joker or Luster, depending on like what his hand calls for. And I could see both being like, depending on the last two cards in his hand, I could see both being viable. I also see if he has a high scale, searching Pendulum Wizard would also be ideal too. Like as long as he can Pendulum summon. But I feel like
summon a bunch of monsters with this too.
Yeah. So.
Someone's asking where space came from. Is it Cosmo or a deeper meaning?
Deeper meaning, but don't worry about that. You may see for Nationals. Same given that one for Nets for sure. But no, it does not come from Cosmo. That's just an odd coincidence. Let's see. And then I think I mentioned this, but if I went to Nationals like this weekend, I would definitely play the Extra Deck Monarch deck, and I would find this is like a challenge to the viewers or whatever, but I am very, very convinced, almost 100% sure, Brilliant Fusion is terrible in that deck, and it forces you to play really bad cards, and the way to make a deck good isn't by adding more bricks, it's by adding better cards. So I think a lot of people should really try and push themselves out of their comfort zone and try to push their deck building as far as they can, and really find a way to make this deck really, really good, because once the deck is going, it's strong, and everyone says that, but it has trouble getting going. On top of that, people think that to solve that problem, you play more bad cards like Gem Knight Lazuli and Yugioh, which I don't think is a good card, Eidos, which I don't think is a good card either. And I think what really fixes the deck as like a stepping stone, like to really get people going or get people really engaged and thinking about it, because everyone deserves a chance at success, let's be honest here. I think one tribute monsters are just the way to really like unbrick the deck, make the deck like really good, because they're like the bridge between like you need good tribute fodder and you need one tribute monsters to create like a nice bridge between the big guys and the little guys, right? And you know, you have the big guys already, but you need like really good little guys. So Yugioh and Brilliant Fusion just don't seem correct at all. Anyway, enough of the rant, because I've just totally just gone off track and stopped commentating briefly about what's going on here. But so he summoned Joker, got I think he searched Silver Clock because he already open sorcerer, which seems fine because right here he gets to make breaks 2. Hold on, breaks 2 gets so he gets Turtle Lizard for sure, and then what does he do? He puts these two, so he'd put Master.
I almost have to assume he would have sided out the Ariande and strikes, because like you're not really scared of your opponent penduluming at all, and they seem pretty dead. But what do you side in? Does he even have a side big enough to like if he sides Twin Twisters, those went in, sure.
So I definitely think that if anywhere in the deck there is Solemn Scolding, I think you definitely keep in the Ariandes because you're going first. That being said, if not, then yeah, I guess you would just side him out, because Strike and Chaos Hole are literally useless against this deck. The only useful
you would have to be playing like double Scolding and Warning though to get your what your desired result out of that, right? Right.
Now, St. Matix is doing a play that I'll be very frank, I don't agree with this play, only because like he searched Turtle and Monkey rather than Turtle and Lizard. But this turn he's going to make a Dinosaur. Then he's going to use Skull Crobat Joker and Master Pendulum to make a Magister, activate the effect, and then detach and summon Master from his extra deck, and then with Dinosaur summon another Master, and then during the end phase trigger the Magister, and he'd have a Monkey Board in his hand for next turn, rather than and he'd be 2 cards deeper into his deck as well, so it could give him like a defensive card, or it could draw him to face off. It gives him the extra draw to get to face off, which is pretty much just the deck's best card in my opinion. But in this play, he only has 1 draw, and he searches himself a card that, like, let's be honest, after you use Joker and you don't have scales anymore, even like after the first Pendulum Sorcerer, the Perform Pal engine just gets significantly more underwhelming. So wait, what happened here? Did he summon with Dinosaur out of his hand? That sounds about right, I guess. I mean, in this line of play, I suppose he then overlays into Magister, but he has to have another Magister in his extra. Oh yeah, he does. So he has another Magister. He detaches. He activates the effect to search. He detaches, summons the Magister from his thing. And then he makes another Dinosaur. Okay, so he makes another Dinosaur here. Summons the Master back, and then makes number 38.
You think he plays Harbinger?
He should. I mean, yeah, I've convinced myself thoroughly that he does.
So, what do you... We'll see if he has back row on top of this. It's still not a very optimal board.
I think it's okay. I just, it would have been, he could have done this without. Yeah, he could have done this all without the monkey board being used. So he'd end off with a monkey board in his hand. So his board's already like really sticky. Like it's really strong. And see, he's even like setting traps too. So this field is already just powerful on its own, but it could have like a monkey board for additional pressure the following turn, and he'd be another card deeper into his deck. So
do you find that? Okay, first off, rivalry. This is a question I had when he was, in case he kept out the Dynasters. Rivalry sends, so it plays past Dynaster, right? Oh my gosh, Book of Moon forcing Harbinger off the bat.
Yeah, so he obviously has to suck that up. No, so the cool thing about St. Matix's board is that they're all dragons. So all he has to do is just, like, Rivalry actually does nothing to this board. So all he has to do is just summon dragon. And he searched Luster too, so he makes an Ignister, another dragon. And he can start, like, he literally can just ignore Rivalry of the Warlords. It's pretty nice, because that card is actually just really powerful. But against this deck, I think really it's fundamentally going first that it's so strong. So dualities here. Hopefully looking for a Stormforth. Yeah, it's not looking too pretty this game. You could get card to demise too, which would be nice.
Skill Drain, not the worst card to see, but there's a 3,000 beater on board.
Right, so fundamentally,
That's
yeah. No, if you play Skill Drain, or if you get Skill Drain here, you'll be at 7k, which puts you, I guess, man, I'd really have to calculate here, but I feel like it would put you in range for something, right? So there's obviously a reason why you didn't get Skill Drain.
It must be a board wipe coming.
Well, if there is, you definitely take Skill Drain. There's no way you just wouldn't, right? If you had a board wipe.
If everything coming out goes to defense and loses effect, like, he can't attack over anything, and it's very centric on keeping your monsters in Ed's build.
Well, you can't attack over anything anyway, because all the monsters Ed can search are just really
there's MST.
Big. So that looks like the game here. The deck really needs to start with Scout to gain any sort of traction. But maybe not. If he has card demise in his hand, he could just like set 3 card demise, and he's immediately back at 6 cards.
Yeah.
So could definitely just be worse. But what would really be unfortunate here, and here's how Stormforth can. Actually, never mind. Okay, totally disregard that. I was gonna say what could really be unfortunate here is he has to set Stormforth, but he can actually just activate it, set 2, and then play card demise. So never mind. Just totally disregard that.
It seems like a rough spot still, no matter what his. Yeah, here's a summon.
Oh yeah, this game is not looking good, especially because he didn't get Skill Drain, so we know he doesn't have that. So the 2,400 creature is not going to be 2,400.
Sacrifice, it can't die by battle, I guess.
Ooh, well, he definitely kills the.
Nope.
It should be. Oh, please don't pass.
So there's a
please
lose one turned down first off.
Yeah. Please attack over the Magister. No, he passed.
If you attack over the Magister, doesn't Harbinger do something? Isn't Harbinger like a pole position?
Ooh, let's see. If a monster. Oh yeah, so then Ed would just take unnecessary damage. Yeah. That's true. Disregard that as well. Someone in the chat says this stream sucks, or this stream blank sucks. I like the old Yu-Gi-Oh, and now I will say the same thing because I just made a misplay. It's nice. All right. Well, that's game.
Qliphort.
Yeah. At least he gets a sacrifice search if he decides to continue playing.
Yeah, he's gonna be at like 350 with what's on board, and the normal summon might seal it.
Yeah. Yep. Sounds about right.
Oh man, this St. Matix really fighting back from his game 1 demise in this one.
Nice pun. Yeah, he really turned up the heat. Especially because he also has Luster Pendulum in his hand, so this is... Yeah, there's no way he'd be playing into...
So between games, we always like to try to shout out TrollandToad.com. Without them, we wouldn't have these really awesome free tournaments, and it's really something cool for the community that doesn't exist anywhere else. So, free tournaments for prizes. It's a really cool thing that they do for the community.
Shout out to Brady Bunch.
Like, this is kind of what I consider, like, something that bugs me is, like, a lot of people are like, it's just a Facebook group. When I make a post in Zodiac and, like, people go crazy over something. First off, Zodiac has its own lore. Like how there's card lore. Zodiac has its own lore. It's been around so long. Second off, we have online tournaments. We have a stream. It's more than a Facebook group. Like, we even have a team, you know? So, like, when people say it's just a Facebook group, I get a little red.
Really?
It's more than a group.
All right, passionate. I respect that.
It's a way of life.
Fair enough.
It's not that much.
What kind of one tributes are you looking at, Wally? I really don't like most of the generic stuff. So I don't want to give too much away because I really, not only do I think everyone deserves success, but to some degree, I feel like, you know, working for it's also pretty important, I guess.
Yeah,
also,
you have to come up with some of your own stuff, boys.
On top of that, not to like knock on innovation necessarily, but I think, you know, definitely play the bet. There's obviously just one best way to play a deck, and having that like I don't know, how do I describe this? Basically, like people will find it. People may find it sooner than you, and that like sucks, I guess. But it's also just like not my idea to share necessarily. I'm like trying to review. Oh Jesus, that looks so bad. Odd Eyes Fusion.
Yeah, he's gonna have to do it raw from hand, right?
Yeah.
With nothing loaded and extra to help negate.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I just disregard what I just said. As far as like the whole coming up with your own ideas and innovation, simply because I'm pretty sure I just derailed myself, and I don't think what I said made any sense. But anyway, I do want to make you work for it a little bit, but I think everyone deserves a chance at success. So I guess a hint I could give is, a lot of people have been looking into like Kurez is obviously a great one tribute monster, but also cards like maybe like Artifact Lancia, you know.
Okay, I'm confused on why he Odd Eyes Fusioned first here, because nothing's loaded to extra, and he could have summoned Joker, seen what happened, and then like used it as part of the Odd Eyes Fusion, right? And had a loaded card in the extra. Am I wrong?
I don't think there's any difference.
Because the loaded card in the extra gives Odd Eyes, Vortex, and Negation, and it wouldn't have sent. He could have held the scale. His Phoenix that he sent to graveyard. He could have held that scale too.
So, are you saying like he summons
Joker, sees what happens, searches, and as long as it wasn't warning, then sent to the graveyard, like he could have used it as part of the Odd Eyes Fusion?
Whatever he searches is part of the Odd Eyes Fusion. Yeah, but it's like the same result. Except, wait, which card?
He sent the Odd Eyes Phoenix to graveyard.
Right, so does that card have an ability to like... So that's like a new card. Does that card have the ability to put something in the...
I think it does something with attack and damage. I actually do not know its scale effect, but I'm just saying he would have had a free 5 scale here instead of the Joker on field in attack mode.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So he summons the Joker, see what happens, and then plays Odd Eyes Fusion. And then he has... Okay, I see what you're saying.
And then he would also have a negation loaded for his Vortex Dragon. Because he doesn't have anything in extra to negate with.
Yeah, up until this play, for sure, I could see that. However, his play played around Solemn Strike for sure. And the reason I say that is because if he'd done that play, then he would have to Pendulum Summon 2. And so he would have been out. There would have been no way for him to... See, and now he just rams Joker, right?
No, he attacks over because of Silverclaw. He has no...
yeah, my boy!
Yeah, his Odd Eyes Vortex has no negation loaded, though. It's just a 3,000 booty sitting in defense mode now.
Right, but at least he has more pressure from a creature. This also plays around... no, he'd have to draw a dragon. He doesn't have any access to a dragon.
I just feel there was a way for him to get something to extra for the negation with using the Odd Eyes. Like, I feel that would have been better overall.
Yeah, but that would mean he has one less level 4.
Yeah. But yeah, this is what I
Yeah,
was
he
scared
would,
of.
he would need to negate this, huh? That
Now
makes
there's
sense.
going to be a 2400 monster.
Yeah, he definitely.
Oh, and it's
Whoa.
Vanity's Fiend of all things. So unless this trap is real, in terms
yeah,
of...
I'm very convinced it's a mystical space typhoon or something like that. And that's another thing too. So we saw St. Matix game 2 play system down, meaning that that's probably may have Regeki in the board, but I think that's his wipe for sure. Wipe.
He's interesting here.
Yeah.
It's gonna...
I'm sorry, that was cringeworthy. I apologize.
We hee-haw all the time.
Yeah, okay. I just don't do it well, so when I do it, I sound like a special needs 12-year-old. And, you know, when other people do it, it sounds a little more funny. So, let's see. He searches for another silver claw. Okay.
So that'll be able to ram, right?
Should be. How much is this? 300?
Plus 300. So it'll be at 21 plus the extra 300.
Yeah, it'll just ram. Yeah, that's good. That's an out. And it goes to the extra X, so main phase 2 just pendulum summons 2, right? Yeah. Sounds about right. Well, maybe just pendulum summons 1. Maybe just pendulum summons the silver claw back to play around a second strike.
I think you would do the Joker first, so that like if it is a strike and it's the more useless card. The Joker.
That's true.
Is, if he thinks it's a strike.
Yeah, that's true. That makes sense.
But we don't even know what Ed's about to pressure with. But, like, see, this is the one problem I have with Qli. It's such a slow struggle to put pressure. And, like, things like lose one turn aren't going to affect this normal summon Silver Claw. And that's, like, his kind of go-to. And then, like, this main phase 2 play is not going to care about lose one turn.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it looks like attack pass might be maybe with another set. I felt like he had to start with a lot of monsters by just... He summoned a Qliphort in set 2.
I read myself so bad, lol. I forgot I fusion required you control 2 monsters. That would have definitely been a card I'd side out in this matchup, by the way, because I'm pretty sure I've never seen Ed with... I think summon stealth, right? Yeah, after the Stormforce play, yeah. It seems like Ed gets 2 monsters on the field by turn 4, so... I definitely want more live cards in my hand turn 1, like as many as possible at least.
Yeah, if he can't answer the Silver Claw, he's in big trouble.
Yeah.
And he's taking his time, which kind of makes me think that he can't. But that could be mind games. Who knows?
Hashtag table talk. You can put that video back up, by the way.
I'll probably just keep it down. I think all parties are happy where it is for the most part.
Oh, it wasn't really necessarily about Big Toe. It was just more like report is, especially with nationals coming up. Table talking, like report is like really important.
And Ed here actually telling him that he has 300 more life points, pretty respectable.
I mean, I feel like
it's something I missed, you know. And
yeah, no,
but the player himself missed, and Ed obviously knew and could have, you know, whatever. But it says, hey, bro, you got 300 more. I honestly would say that a lot of duelists, unfortunately, would not do that.
Well, then they're scumbags. What the hell?
Exactly. That's what's unfortunate.
Yeah. It's really shitty.
Well, no main phase 2 pendulum here. That's kind of surprising, isn't it?
Yeah, I would have just definitely pendulum for... I think you were right on the Joker. I'd probably just pendulum out the Joker here.
Yeah, see, it would at least be a beefcake wall for this carrier, but now this carrier is going to get to punch and put pressure.
You know,
and
you
if
can
that's
make
a strike, it's even more pressure, and there's another back row now, too. Not penduluming in main phase 2 really hurts.
Yeah.
And there's an MST, actually. Oh, you were right. Your early sniff out was right, but, like, he held it pretty well. Oh, so he's going to protect his new one.
So it has to be, like, lose a turn or skill drain or... Yeah, it has to be. There's no way it can't be.
So now do you risk it for the biscuit, or do you just pendulum one and try to kind of sniff it? I think you do the Silver Claw now.
Yeah, you can definitely just pendulum for 1. That's it, because your Silver Claw already climbs over the carrier.
Yeah, and I think you do the Silver Claw to just poke it or try to... if it's the back row, like, that worst
Oh,
you're
he
going
just
to
going
take...
for it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he could have just had something.
Oh, and he's gonna get fully punished for it.
Right,
So he
right.
either has something in hand that can deal with the situation, or this was just...
Yeah, I actually take that back. I think he should have summoned the Joker again, because Joker also climbs over carrier.
Yeah, with the Silver Claw and scale. Oh,
Yeah,
and,
and now he just passed. Yeah, he should have just definitely pendulum one.
Yeah. And I'm guessing there's more monsters since this card hasn't been set. Yeah, there's another 18. So he's going to punch 36 and put him pretty much on the end clock here, unless he can really top deck. Yeah. But, like, almost anything puts him back in. Like, oh, he had the rare overlay from Qli?
Yeah, he has 2 4s, huh? So, what did he make here?
Utopia?
Gigant? Just kidding.
That wouldn't be the worst.
Yeah,
Castell, get rid of a scale.
Yeah, I think he gets rid of Silver Claw here. Oh, nice. Cool DN function.
Yeah, instead of pressing 2 buttons, you still press 2 buttons.
Yeah.
So there's still a lot of attack modifiers he can draw here, but there's actually a threatening back row too. So, and a locked monkey board in scale, but usually that wouldn't matter as much because you have scales like, and oh, it's set to live.
It's cool though, because like his loser turns are dead. Let's see what else. Yeah, he sets. He could draw like. He could draw like Turtle, Wizard, the other Silver Claw. Golly. Yeah, if he didn't pendulum too, his situation would have been much better. Much better, in fact.
Yeah.
So he sets another one. Ed's not drawing monsters. Ed's also just not drawing Demise. Okay, so did he trigger? Oh, he just has Ariadne with no counter traps.
Yeah, it seems like he needed to leave the body in the deck and didn't have anything to side out for it, I guess.
That makes sense. So that's another card. So Ed's just waiting for a monster.
And
there it is. I suppose that's game. Yeah. Ed with the strong summon helix set to pass got him.
Yeah,
there,
it seems like actually if he just pendulum one though, this Castell play still happens and then he's still stuck though.
How does it still happen?
Because if he only pendulumed one, the next turn he summons the second monster, attacks, and blows away the Silver Claw still, and he's stuck in the same situation because it looks like he never got to a high scale.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So, good games. It's pretty good. Good match. 3 games, and we see Qli come back.